Hello, this is Richard Anthony Marca, and this is the third video lecture for Grissom's EGR425 Real-Time Embedded Development. So this is the first file for this video lecture, which was a read file for the VCNL 4040. And the VCNL 4040 has multiple devices that could connect to addresses. It can either read from or write to addresses in one of the registers to perform functions for things like a motor, or in this case, we used in one of the labs, a speaker. And the only way to communicate is through the I2C bus. As you can see with the I2C variables, we have both the SDA pin and the SCL pin, which SDA stands for serial data pin, for S for serial, DA for data. And then we got SCL, which S stands for serial and CL stands for clock. So serial clock pin, and our frequency and the address of our VCNL 4040 I2C. We have this for the light sensors. So this is for where we put our main code if we had it, which is going to be later on, the updated, which is I2C RW for read write. And we're going to have a C++ and an H file. So this is for the wires to begin transmission, to write an address or in command code, and to end the transmission. So this is a basic just reader. All it does is read addresses and regurgitates what is read back. And here we have a more sophisticated and refined read and write. So the setup begin where it's able to read and write and read back the new data. So, because if you read first then write, you don't know what's now there. So this reads it back. And once the stuff has begun, it goes to the 4040 address. It uses the VCNL 4040 I2C address, and it rewrites the register so it does something else we want it to do. And once we begin the transmission, we write our new code. We end the transition, which is more for reading, and then we request to read the data back from the register that we've already used. And it will print back to us as status I2C read at address, whatever the address is we updated, and it returns it to us. And here is where it was used in the actual project or assignment, where these are for more error functions, error, but this is also if it's been successfully read or written. This is in case like there is no I2 device found after it's done scanning. The update, it's able to update, and this is for the SparkFun VCNL 4040 Arduino library on GitHub. It's very useful. I found it very fun. If I click the link, it is just a basic library that goes through all sorts of functions that the 4040 can do. And here is the H file where it stores the members of the address and the frequency, as well as the SDA pin and the SCL pin. It also initiates the I2C and scans the I2C for addresses and prints the return status. And the 8-bit register methods where it reads and writes the new registers. And here's this is for the basis of the proximity sensor, where we're able to generate sine waves. The sine waves is the wave-like motion to create volume. So we could either have this for the proximity sensor, light sensor, or raw white light sensor. We use the proximity one. So if the proximity was too low, it was just no sound. But if it got to a certain proximity, depending on how close it was, more, it created a louder volume. And we set it, at least on this one, I set it to a specific volume because I didn't want it to hurt my ears too much. And that is it for this video lecture.